So let's just resume from our previous video and do a little exercise right here. So the exercise is going to be simply taking two numbers as input and printing out their sum. So in order to do that, we will need to take input, and in order to take input, we are just going to type input and then enter the prompt, enter the first number. And as we know, this right here isn't actually being stored anywhere. We need to store it somewhere in the memory, and in order to do that, we can store it in a variable. And let's just name the variable number one. Then let's say equal input, and then let's just copy it and paste it right here. We're gonna just name number two, enter the second number. Now, if we print out the values using an F string saying the sum of number 1 and number 2 is number 1 plus number 2. But right here, if we actually execute this, we're gonna have an error because let's just do it. Yes, as you can see, this isn't really an error, but this isn't even what we want, because what it's just doing is that it's concatenating the string, okay? Like it's like adding, merging the two strings. So you have a result like this, and it's really weird. So in order to fix that, we would like this to be a float, so it can contain any form of numeric values, like this. And now if we print this out, it's 23, and you see it's 46. So right here you see that we did the arithmetic operation within the print statement, but this isn't actually a good thing to do, because you might have some more complex operations to perform that might take a little bit more space, which wouldn't be need within a print statement. So we can store the result within a variable named result, which is going to be number 1 plus number 2. So now if we print out the result, it's going to be the same. Yeah, it's the same. Now this was our first exercise, and the second one we're going to do is going to be this. So we're going to create a cart interface taking user input for product name, price, and quantity, then print out their purchase details. So we're gonna see what it's gonna be about. And first of all, we need to take user input and store them in a variable. So let's just simply name it product underscore name equal input. It's gonna be string. So we do enter the product name, and then we have another one, product price equal input, enter the price of the product. Now this also needs to be a float, and we need product quantity equals to be an integer, because the quantity of something is obviously going to be a whole number. It's not going to be something like 2.5. So we're going to prompt the user to enter the quantity of the product. And now we can do something like print. We're gonna print out their purchase details. So what does it contain? It can contain something like uh, total cost, mm, product name, the product they bought, and then the price, and yeah, and then the quantity. Okay, so let's just print it out using an F string. We're gonna say the price of, and then within the curly braces we're gonna input the variable product name, parentheses s, because this might be singular or plurals, we don't know. Product, uh, the price of product is the total price. Let's do total price of product name is gonna be product price multiplied by product quantity. The price of product quantity is or R. Okay, so let's run it and see the product name. Let's say we're gonna buy a shampoo. So the price of the product, let's say 12. Enter the quantity of the product. So we're gonna buy 3 bottles of it. Are this, and now as you can see, this really does look ugly. In order to fix that, we can do something like string formatting, but this is not gonna be the topic of today's video. We're gonna discover later how to actually round these values. So yeah, so let's just recap. So we're storing the inputs so we can recall them later, and we need to recall them later in our script. So we are assigning product name equals to be input, whatever input the user gives, and then the product price is gonna be input, whatever the price the user gives, and it's gonna be a float because input by default take the input and assume them as being a string. So even if they enter a number, it's gonna be considered a string. And right here we are also taking product quantity, and right here it's integer because quantity is a discrete value and it's always a whole number. So let me just add a colon and space right here, and then we're basically just printing the result, the total price of whatever the quantity is, and the name of the product is or are this. So let me just add a currency. You can pick any currency you like. I'm picking dollar because it's encoded in the keyboard. There's no other currency than American dollar. So yeah, let's run it again. Let's see. I wanna buy something like candy, or let's be more precise, chocolate. Now enter the price of the product. Oh, yes, it's gonna be right here. I misput it, sorry for that. Now if we rerun it, the product name can be something like chocolate. The product price, let's say a packet costs something like this. And then the quantity is gonna be 3. And this is what we get. 12.13, and the quantity is 3, so the total price of 3 chocolates is or are $37. Okay, so that's the thing we have right here. So this was an overview to see how much we remember about taking user inputs. Now, besides for taking user inputs, we have another thing called conditionals. So as you can guess by the name of conditionals, they check for certain conditions. If a condition is true, so let me just give you an overview. If condition is, it goes something like, if condition is true, we're gonna execute the lines that follow. And let's say this condition is not true. So if it's not true, else we're gonna execute another code, another block of code. Okay, so the control flow goes like this. So let's just actually see it hands on. So this time we're gonna check if you are eligible to apply for a credit card or to open a bank account. So first of all, we're gonna take the age from the users, and it's gonna be an integer input. Enter your age. Okay, we're storing it within the age variable. Now let's say we just straight up print you are eligible to apply for a credit card. Now we aren't really checking anything because in all countries you can't really apply for a credit card if you are not at least 18 and don't have a bank account. So we gotta check first of all if the user is actually um, 18 or not. Okay, so in order to do that, we're gonna check the condition using an if statement. So it's like saying if the age, so right after if, this is gonna be the condition. If age, then let's see, the condition gonna be greater than or equals to. Okay, so if the age is either greater than or equals to 18, okay, then we're gonna perform some form of code. Now we need to actually have a colon, otherwise it's gonna show us a syntax error. Now we see this, we already see two spaces right here. You can have different, some might have 4 spaces based on their editor configurations. So this right here is called an indent. So the indent basically indicates that this this code belongs to this condition. So let's just print it out. We're gonna print out you are eligible to have a credit card. Okay, ooh, okay, so entering our age, if we're 18, you are eligible to apply for a credit card. So if we didn't actually enter the colon, it'll be something like this. It will be a syntax error. They'll say expected a colon. Okay, so if we give a colon and don't really space it out, it's also gonna show an error. It's gonna be an indentation error. Expected an indented block after if statement on line 3. So if we indent it using the tab key on your keyboard, it's gonna be indented. So it basically says that, yeah, this code is gonna be executed if this condition is true. And if this condition isn't true, we need to have an else statement. Let's say this is not true. Then we're gonna print out something like you must be at least 18 years old to apply for a credit card. Okay, so if we enter this right here, 12, you must be at least 20, you must be at least 18 years old to apply for a credit card. So let's just see what's going on here. Let's take another revise. So what we're doing right here is we're assigning this age variable to input, and the input that we get from the user, we're converting it to integer, because input already takes the uh, input from the users as a string data type, and with string data type we can't really perform arithmetic operations that well, nor can we use comparisons like this uh, very efficiently. We can't even do that. So right here we are like checking, so if whatever the user gives the age as, so if the given input is greater than or equals to 18, we're gonna print out this. And if it's not, so if it's this, and if it's not, else we're gonna execute this block of code. We actually need to apply indentations like this, so we can actually see that this code belongs to this else statement, and it's very important. If you missed the colon, then yeah, the interpreter is going to show an error. And now if we actually do enter your age 18, ooh, okay, oh yeah, I guess enter your age to be 18. Yeah, it's gonna show you're eligible to apply for credit card. So it checks this condition, it meets, so yeah, this one. And if it doesn't meet this, so it doesn't meet this condition, then it goes to the second condition. And if the same condition applies, yeah, we're gonna execute this block of code. So yeah, this was an overview of basic control flow, and hope you really understood it. And if you have a problem, you can always ask me in the comments section.